Entitled sister-in-law completely demands I name my newborn baby after her dead dog Sparky, and my husband actually agreed. Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Thank you very much. Now let's begin the video. Hello Reddit. I am Anna and my husband is Michael. We are both 29 years old and have been together since college. We are so excited because we are expecting our first baby in a few months. We have been decorating the nursery, picking out baby clothes, the whole 9 yards. Everything was going smoothly, and we were both on cloud 9 until recently when Michael's sister, Shirley, got involved in the baby naming process. Shirley is Michael's older sister. She is 35, and honestly, she has always been a bit much. She is very dramatic and loves to be the center of attention. We have always tried to keep the peace with her because, family, but lately, things have escalated to a whole new level of ridiculousness. Last year, Shirley's dog, Sparky, passed away. Sparky was a small, fluffy white dog that Shirley treated like her child. I understand that losing a pet is hard. I have had pets my whole life, but Shirley's grief has been intense, to say the least. She still talks about Sparky constantly, has framed photos of Sparky all over her house, and even visits Sparky's grave at the pet cemetery every week. Again, I get it. Grief is personal, but it has been a year, and it feels like she is almost reveling in the sadness. Anyway, fast forward to our pregnancy. When we announced we were expecting, Shirley was initially very happy for us, or at least, she pretended to be. She started asking about baby names pretty early on. Michael and I had a few names we liked, but we were still figuring things out. We wanted to wait until we knew the gender to really narrow it down. Then, a few weeks ago, Shirley came over for dinner. We were just chatting, and she brought up baby names again. I casually mentioned that we were thinking about maybe naming the baby Olivia if it was a girl, or maybe Liam if it was a boy. She made a face, and I knew something was coming. She said, "Oh, those are okay, I guess." Kind of boring though, don't you think? I replied, "Well, we like them. We want something classic and timeless." Shirley then said, "You should really consider naming the baby Sparky." I laughed, thinking she was joking. I said, "Sparky. Like your dog." "No, Shirley, we are not naming our baby Sparky." But she was completely serious. Her face went all tight and she said, "Why not? It is a beautiful name, and it would be such a lovely way to honor Sparky's memory. He was family, Reddit, I was speechless. I mean, who names a human baby after a dog, especially a dog that belonged to someone else? It is just weird, right? I tried to be polite but firm. I said, "Shirley, I appreciate the thought, but we have other names in mind. We are not going to name our child Sparky. It is just not going to happen." Then Michael, bless his heart, chimed in. He said, "Come on, Shirley, don't you think that is a little unusual for a baby name?" I thought he was on my side finally. But then he continued, "But Shirley, I can see where you are coming from. Sparky was a special dog. Maybe we could consider it as a middle name." My jaw dropped. "A middle name? Are you kidding me?" I looked at Michael and he was actually nodding like this was a reasonable compromise. Shirley, of course, jumped on this idea immediately. She said, "Oh yes, Sparky as a middle name, that would be perfect." See, Anna. It is not so bad, is it? It is a compromise. I stared at both of them, completely dumbfounded. I said, "A compromise? Michael, are you serious right now? We are talking about our child's name, not what kind of pizza to order." And no, Sparky is not an acceptable middle name either. Absolutely not. Shirley started to get teary-eyed, of course. She said, "I just miss him so much. It would mean so much to me if you would just consider it. It is like you don't even care about my feelings." I replied, "Shirley, I am sorry you are still grieving, but this is not about you. This is about our baby. And we are going to choose a name that we love, not one to appease your grief over a dog, with all due respect." Well, that set her off. She started crying, full on sobbing, saying that I was insensitive, that I was cruel, that I was ruining everything. Michael tried to calm her down, telling her to just relax. We would talk about it later. Later. There is nothing to talk about later. The answer is no, and it will always be no. Ever since that dinner, Shirley has been relentless. She calls Michael constantly, texting him sad pictures of Sparky, talking about how much she misses him and how much it would mean to her if we named the baby after him. She even started calling my mother-in-law, Michael's mom, to get her on her side. And guess what? It worked. My mother-in-law called me the other day, all sweetness and light, saying, "Anna, dear, I was talking to Shirley, and I think she has a point about the baby name. Sparky was such a wonderful dog, and it would be such a nice way to remember him. Maybe you could just consider it. Just for Shirley, she is still so heartbroken. Read it, I almost lost it. I said, consider it. Seriously, are you all ganging up on me about this? It is my baby, my husband's baby, and we get to choose the name. And we are not naming our child after a dog. End of discussion." My mother-in-law sighed dramatically and said, "Oh, Anna, you are being so stubborn. It is just a name. It is not going to hurt anyone to use Sparky as a middle name. You are just being selfish." Selfish? Me? I am the selfish one, because I don't want to name my child after my sister-in-law's dead dog. This is insane. Michael, to his credit, has been a little better since our initial conversation. He says he understands my point of view, but he also feels bad for Shirley. He keeps saying, "She is just really hurting Anna. Maybe we can just humor her a little. It is not like we have to call the baby Sparky all the time. It is just a middle name." I said, "Michael, no, absolutely not. It is not about humoring her. It is about our child's identity. And I refuse to have Sparky anywhere near my baby's name. It is ridiculous." He gets all quiet and says, okay, I hear you. But can we at least talk about it more? Maybe find a compromise? Compromise? What kind of compromise is there? Naming the baby Sparkington, I am not budging on this. Honestly, I am starting to feel like I am going crazy. Am I overreacting here? Is it really that big of a deal to use Sparky as a middle name just to make Shirley happy? I know she is grieving, but this is just too much, right? Reddit, tell me I am not the crazy one here. Am I wrong here? Update 1. Wow, Reddit, I am honestly blown away by the responses. Thank you all so much for your support and validation. I never thought my post would get so much attention, but reading your comments has made me feel so much less alone and crazy. It is good to know that I am not the one being unreasonable here. To answer some of the questions and comments I have seen, yes, Sparky was a dog. A small, fluffy white dog, not even a particularly majestic or impressive dog. Just a dog. A dog that Shirley loved, I get it, but still, a dog. No, I am not heartless or insensitive to grief. I understand that losing a pet is painful, but there is a time and a place for grief, and demanding that your niece or nephew be named after your dead dog is not it. It is inappropriate and frankly bizarre. Yes, Michael is usually pretty reasonable, which is why I am so surprised and disappointed by his stance on this. I think he is just trying to keep the peace, and he really does feel bad for Shirley. He hates conflict, and Shirley is very good at creating drama and playing the victim. He is probably just trying to avoid a huge family blow-up. But still, he should be supporting me on this, not trying to appease his sister. Many of you have suggested that Shirley is not really grieving a dog, but using this as a way to get attention or control. Honestly, I think you might be right. Shirley has always been a bit manipulative, and she loves to be the center of attention. This whole Sparky baby name thing definitely fits her pattern. Some of you have asked if Shirley has any other children or if she plans to have children. No, she does not have any children, and as far as I know, she is not planning on having any. She is 35 and single, and seems to be very focused on her career and, well, her dogs. This might be part of why she is so fixated on our baby. Maybe she sees it as some kind of surrogate baby for her, and naming it Sparky is her way of feeling more connected to it. It is still weird and inappropriate, though. A few people have suggested that I should talk to Shirley directly and set firm boundaries. I agree that I need to do this. I have been trying to avoid confrontation, but it is clear that ignoring her and hoping she will drop it is not working. I need to have a serious conversation with her and make it clear that the baby name is not up for discussion and that her behavior is causing stress and tension in our family. I also need to have a serious conversation with Michael. He needs to understand that this is not just about a name. It is about respecting my feelings and our decisions as parents. He needs to stand up for me and for our baby and stop trying to placate Shirley at my expense. I am planning on talking to both Shirley and Michael this weekend. I will update you all on how it goes. Thank you again for all your support and advice. It really means a lot. Wish me luck. Update 2. Hello again, Reddit. Well, I had the conversations with Shirley and Michael this weekend, as promised. And let me tell you, it was eventful. First, I talked to Michael. I sat him down and told him that we needed to have a serious talk about Shirley and the baby name situation. I told him that I appreciated him trying to keep the peace, but his attempts to appease Shirley were actually making things worse, and were making me feel unsupported and unimportant. I said, Michael, I understand that you love your sister, and I know you feel bad for her, but this whole Sparky baby name thing is completely out of line. It is not reasonable. It is not appropriate, and frankly, it is disrespectful to me and to our baby. Our child is not going to be named after her dead dog, not as a first name, not as a middle name, not at all. It is not happening, and I need you to be on my side on this. I need you to tell Shirley firmly and clearly that the answer is no and that she needs to drop it. Michael listened to me, and I could tell he was actually hearing me this time. He said, Anna, I know. You are right. It is ridiculous. I hate seeing Shirley so upset, and I thought maybe if we just considered it, it would make her feel better. But you are right, it is not fair to you, and it is not fair to our baby. I am sorry. I will talk to her. I will tell her that we are not naming the baby Sparky, and that is final. I felt a huge wave of relief wash over me. Finally, Michael was on my team. I said, thank you, Michael. That means so much to me. I really needed to hear that. He hugged me and said, I love you, Anna. And I love our baby. And you are right, we get to choose the name. And we are going to choose a name that we both love, not a name that Shirley wants. So, Michael promised to talk to Shirley and set things straight. I felt much better after talking to him. I thought, okay, maybe this is finally going to be resolved. Then came the conversation with Shirley. Michael said he would talk to her, but I decided I wanted to be there too. I wanted to be present when he told her no, and I wanted to make sure she understood that this was not just Michael's decision, it was both of ours. We went over to Shirley's house on Sunday afternoon. She seemed a little surprised to see me there, but she invited us in. We sat down in her living room, surrounded by Sparky photos, naturally. Michael started the conversation. He said, Shirley, we need to talk about the baby name. Anna and I have been talking, and we have made a decision. We are not going to name the baby Sparky. Shirley's face immediately fell. She said, what? But why not? I thought we were going to consider it. I thought you said you would think about it as a middle name. Michael said, Shirley, I did say that, but I have realized that it is not the right thing to do. It is not an appropriate name for a baby, and Anna and I have decided that we want to choose a different name, one that we both love. We hope you can understand. She practically shrieked, understand. No, I do not understand. You are being so cruel. You know how much Sparky meant to me. You know how much this would mean to me, and you are just refusing to do it. Just because you are selfish and don't care about my feelings. I jumped in and said, Shirley, that is not fair. It is not about being selfish or not caring about your feelings. We do care about your feelings, but this is our baby, and we get to choose the name. And we are not comfortable naming our child after your dog. It is as simple as that. Shirley stood up and started pacing around the room, getting more and more agitated. She said, but Sparky was not just a dog. He was family. He was my best friend. He was more important to me than most people. And you are just dismissing him like he was nothing. Like his memory doesn't matter. I said, Shirley, we are not dismissing Sparky's memory. We understand that he was important to you. But naming our baby after him is not the way to honor his memory. There are other ways to remember him. You can keep his photos, you can visit his grave, you can talk about him, but please, do not try to impose his name on our child. She stopped pacing and glared at me, her eyes red and watery. She said, "You are so heartless, Anna. You are so cold and unfeeling. I cannot believe you are being so cruel to me, especially when I am still grieving. You are a terrible person." Michael tried to intervene, saying, "Shirley, please calm down. Anna is not being cruel. We are just making a decision about our baby's name. It is our right." Shirley turned on him, furious. She said, "And you? You are just as bad as she is. I thought you cared about me. I thought you would understand. But you are just letting her walk all over you. You are a spineless coward." Michael actually stood up to her then. He said, "Shirley, that is enough. Do not call Anna names and do not call me names. We are not being cruel or spineless. We are making a decision as parents and you need to respect that. The answer is no, Shirley. We are not naming the baby Sparky. Please drop it." Shirley just stared at us, her face contorted with anger and hurt. Then she burst into tears again and ran out of the room, slamming the door behind her. Michael and I just stood there, looking at each other. We were both a little shaken, but also relieved that we had finally stood our ground. We decided to just leave and let Shirley cool down. We have not heard from Shirley since then. It has been a few days, and she has not called or texted. I am hoping that means she is finally starting to accept our decision, and maybe even starting to realize that she was being unreasonable. I know this whole situation has caused a lot of tension in the family, and I am worried about how it will affect our relationship with Shirley and with my mother-in-law. But honestly, I feel like we did the right thing. We stood up for ourselves and for our baby, and we did not let Shirley bully us into doing something we were not comfortable with. Reddit, thank you again for all your support and advice. It really helped me to feel strong and confident in my decision. I will update again if anything else happens with Shirley, but for now, I am just hoping for some peace and quiet and maybe some baby name suggestions that are not Sparky. Any ideas? And seriously, am I the terrible person here? I still don't think so. Update 3. Hey Reddit. Just a quick update on the Shirley situation. Things have actually taken a bit of a turn, and surprisingly for the better. So, after our dramatic confrontation with Shirley, we did not hear from her for a few days. I was honestly expecting her to double down, to escalate things, maybe even to try to sabotage our baby shower or something, but nothing. Silence. Then, a few days ago, Michael got a text from Shirley. It was just a simple text saying, "Can we talk?" Michael was a bit hesitant, but he replied, "Sure." "When and where?" Shirley texted back, "Can you come over to my place tonight? Just you." Michael told me about the text, and we talked about it. We were both a little wary, but we decided that Michael should go and talk to her. I figured it was probably better for him to go alone, at least initially. Maybe Shirley would be more willing to talk to him without me there. So Michael went over to Shirley's house last night. He said he was expecting another argument, more tears, maybe even more name-calling. But what he found was different. He said when he got there, Shirley was actually calm. She was still a little sad, but she was not angry or hysterical. She invited him in, they sat down, and she started talking. She said, "Michael, I am sorry. I am sorry for the way I have been acting. I know I have been over the top with this whole baby name thing, and I know I have been putting you and Anna in a really difficult position." Michael was completely taken aback. He said, "Shirley, are you serious?" She said, "Yes, I am serious. I have been doing a lot of thinking since Sunday. And I realized that you and Anna are right. It is your baby, and you get to choose the name. And it is not fair of me to try to force you to name your child after Sparky. It was selfish and inappropriate, and I am truly sorry." Michael said he was still a little stunned, but he said, "Shirley, thank you. That means a lot to me. And I know it will mean a lot to Anna too." Shirley continued, I think I have been using the baby name thing as a way to avoid dealing with my grief over Sparky. I have been so focused on his memory, and on trying to keep him alive in some way, that I have not really been allowing myself to move on. And I think I was projecting a lot of my own feelings onto your baby. It was not fair to you, and it was definitely not fair to Anna. She even said, and honestly, Sparky is a terrible name for a baby. What was I thinking? Michael said he actually laughed at that, and Shirley laughed too. It was the first time he had seen her laugh in a long time. They talked for a while longer. Shirley apologized again, and Michael accepted her apology. He said he told her that we both loved her, and that we just wanted her to be happy. Shirley said she wanted to be happy for us too, and that she was genuinely excited about becoming an aunt. When Michael came home and told me all of this, I was completely shocked. I honestly did not expect Shirley to ever apologize, let alone to admit that she was wrong. I was so relieved and happy. The next day, Shirley actually called me. I was a little nervous to answer, but I did. She said, "Anna, it is Shirley. I just wanted to apologize to you directly, for everything. For being so pushy about the baby name, for calling you names, for being so dramatic. I was completely out of line, and I am really sorry." I said, "Shirley, thank you. I appreciate that, and I accept your apology. It means a lot to me." We talked for a few minutes, and it was actually nice. She asked how I was feeling, how the pregnancy was going, and we even talked a little bit about baby names, non-Sparky names, of course. She even suggested a few names that she liked, and they were actually pretty good. It is like a huge weight has been lifted. The tension in the family has eased, and I feel like we can finally move forward and focus on the baby without all this drama hanging over us. I am still a little surprised and honestly, a little skeptical. Is Shirley really going to be different now? Is this apology genuine, or is it just a temporary truce? I don't know, but I am choosing to be optimistic. I am choosing to believe that she is sincere and that she is truly trying to make amends. And you know what? Even if she is not completely changed, even if she still has her dramatic tendencies, at least the baby name drama is over. And that is a huge win in my book. So thank you again, Reddit, for all your support and advice. It really helped me to navigate this crazy situation and to stand up for myself and for my baby. And who knows, maybe this whole ordeal will actually end up bringing Shirley and me closer in the long run. Stranger things have happened, right? Life lesson learned. Boundaries are important even with family, and sometimes even the most dramatic people can surprise you. And also, never name your baby Sparky. Just don't do it. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more shocking real-life stories happening around you.